Okay. Let's see how this goes. Now, around the same time last year, like right now, like last year at the end of 2018, I told myself that I wanted to really get on my anime grind. I wanted to do more reactions. I wanted to do more reviews about all these exciting things that were coming up this year. And I have to say, this year, in terms of anime, not only anime that have come out this year, but also the announcements and everything about things that are coming out next year that made me lose my mind. So last year I told myself I wanted to get on my anime grind and stuff, and not only watch a lot of animes that came out seasonal this year, but also animes that came out like from previous seasons that I wasn't able to watch, or not just like previous seasons, but from like previous years and years ago and things like that. Wanted to get back on this grind with all of this anime. And my gosh, I watched a lot. This is without including animes that came out previous seasons ago or previous years ago that I just decided to binge watch, that are usually like 12 to 13 episode series or anything, or 26 episode seasons and things like that. Not just that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just seasonal anime that came out this year. My number, I already lost track of the number, adding on to all the seasonal animes that I watched this year, but also ones that came out previously and stuff like that I didn't get to. I lost track of the number. The anime that I watched seasonally this year is over 30 animes. You would think that that's pretty easy to narrow that down with all of those and things that really hit you emotionally, impactfully with all of those animes and stuff. Even me narrowing down the list, I only got to about 14 to 15 animes that literally got me emotionally or impactfully or something, or that I just in general just got hyped for and started freaking out, because a lot of them are also getting say movies or new seasons next year in 2020. And bro, it's amazing. This year again was so good for me in terms of anime, and just probably one of the best years of my life in general. So me only having 14 to 15 animes that really hit me hard and impacted me emotionally or action paced or hilarious or just all around just awesome, amazing stuff. Narrowing that list down that was at 30 plus animes only down to 14 or 15 is so hard. And that's not even the list. This list is a top 5 animes, or top 5 anime this year that I've watched this year. So you know how hard you can understand how hard it was for me to make this list. But let's just get right into it. Without further ado, before I do my top 5, I am going to tell you guys about the honorable mentions. And I have my list right here. Just looking at it, when I made this list, my top 5, I was hurting. Emotionally, my heart was broken with myself. It hurt when I was forcing my hand that had the pen to write on the paper, to write down my top 5, and to not put others in my top 5. It was hard. So without further ado of this list of honorable mentions, we have, I'm gonna go with some quick ones. I don't have to explain that much. We got Bokuben, We Never Learn Season 2. Beautiful anime, hilarious rom-com, slice of life, school life type of anime. It's probably one of my favorite ones of that genre of the rom-com school life type of stuff. And it's amazing. Then we got Grand Blue Fantasy, the animation season 2. I love that show. The music in that show, opening and ending themes of both seasons, season 1, season 2. I decided to binge watch season 1 a couple weeks ago, and It's amazing. Like it was so beautifully done. Like the intricate artwork that was in that anime itself. This first season was amazing, and season 2 they kind of changed up the animation or the art style, because I think that the first season, that type of art style was a lot for like to animate and stuff, because it looked so like watercolor or artistic looking and such. And when you have to do that all the time, it gets hard and whatnot. But season 2, still great. The season's good. Like the storylines are really great. We're getting more in depth of characters that we didn't get in the first season stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Number 3 that I wanted to talk about for the honorable mentions, or another one, how heavy are the dumbbells you lift? Bro, this anime was hilarious in terms of just the comedy and hilarity of people trying to like work out and stuff. And it's very reminiscent of like getting like a lot of knowledge or education through anime, and it being like similar to Cells at Work, because I know a lot of stuff from like Cells and how the body works now because of Cells at Work, and I'm so excited for Cells at Work season 2, which I'm very excited about. But this anime is similar to that in that it gives you good information and whatnot on like physical education, like working out, but also nutrition and stuff like that, and it's really good. And the honeys, clean, my guys. So I thought that was like something really great that I think deserved an honorable mention. Now, another one which it's starting to get up there, like not in your top 5. I would say the One Piece Wano arc specifically is one of my favorite arcs. It's one of, if not the most important arc so far in One Piece in general, because stuff is going down. We're getting a lot of history and stuff, and I've freaked out the heck out. Not even just anime really, but the manga in general. Out of bounds. Amazing stuff. So One Piece Wano arc, I had to put that in there. Now, another one which kind of like, okay, this is getting like serious. This must have been really hard for you to make this list. My Hero Academia season 4, the arc that's going on now in the anime is my favorite arc of all of My Hero so far that I've watched or like that I read. I've only read like 1 or 2 arcs after season 3 of what happened. Like I know what the overall arc happens and the arc after it what happens, but then nothing else after that. But this overall is my favorite arc in general. 110%. I have cried so hard in this when I was reading this arc, and Eri is, bro, she's freaking best. Like, she's so great. I freaking love her character, her design, everything about that adorable little girl that needs rescuing, needs help and stuff. And it's just gonna be, this season's gonna be even greater and greater, and I'm excited for it to be animated. But yeah, like My Hero has to have been in my honorable mentions. Now, these coming up, I believe there's 2 more that I got on this list. One of them I thoroughly love. I severely love. I love it so freaking much. And that is Dr. Stone. With all the science stuff going on and all the characters are so great and stuff, like Kohaku and Rui. Ooh, best girls. I love them so much. Well, Yuzuriha, I want to see her again. And man, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all of them. Ready for the Stone Wars, the season 2 coming. I'm hyped and I'm ready for that. Had to have had this anime series or this series in general in my honorable mentions. Now, this next one that I'm gonna say hurt me so much to not put it on my top 5 list. Now, my friends and family know that this series is one of, in my top 3 favorite series of all time. It's actually my number 2. I'm talking about Date A Live, season 3. Overall, the Date A Live series is one of, if not like my favorite anime of, anime of all time. Right behind Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden's my number 1. Date A Live's my number 2. One Piece is my number 3 of all time, like animes or series or in general stuff. It was so unbelievably hard for me to not put Date A Live in my top 5, mainly because it's one of my favorite stuff, but the specific reason why I did not was because of the ending of that season 3, because it should have been 13 episodes instead of 12. I'm not mad or angry at the anime. I'm thoroughly like irritated or mad at the director or the people that decided to do 12 instead of 13. That's what made me mad, because like there should have been 2 episodes to close out that like quick ending arc instead of 1 episode. Like having 1 episode, that's insane. Like it should have went down a different way, and that kind of diminished it from being in my top 5. And even still, the storyline and the arcs in that season were the best for Date A Live so far in the anime in general. I don't know about the light novel or anything, but in the anime so far, it was the best one in terms of Origami's backstory, her arc and such, and everything that happened to her, and her comedy. Like the comedy of season 3 went up another level for me. Like in general, went up another level with like Origami's like perversiveness, which was hilarious. Everything that happened with Natsumi in the beginning was hilarious too, and stuff. Messing with Shido and everything. I thought all of it was great, but that ending diminished it from being in my top 5, and I am so severely bummed that I did that, and I had to do that, and my hand was just like with the pen. I'm like, I gotta do it, and it hurt a little bit, but you know, that's okay. I'm getting another season next year, and we're getting a spin-off of Kurumi. We're getting a spin-off of Kurumi called Data Bullet, which is hype. I'm excited for it in general. I love it. And those are actually the animes that I give like honorable mentions for. Now, my top 5. Now, number 5 is a 3-way tie. Like, I could not put any of these over each other. We got Demon Slayer, ASTRA Lost in Space, and SAO Alicization War of Underworld Part 1. Now, Demon Slayer, it's my anime of the year, period. It's the anime I want to win during the Anime Awards, 100%. I think it's gonna win, hands down. It's gonna like destroy the competition. There are some animes that I want to at least be nominated, but I don't think they're gonna win or beat Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer, like Tanjiro is best boy and best brother, 100%. Nezuko is gonna get nominated for best girl. I don't think she's gonna win because I think somebody else is gonna win. But like all these characters are so cool. Some of them are a little iffy for me. I don't really like, but Shinobu is my waifu, my best girl for that entire like anime so far, and I'm excited for the movie to come out. Animation wise, art wise, like fluidity and stuff, music wise, like opening ending themes in general, but also like the OST, the soundtrack is it's just overall scope of this anime. It might sound like a simple story of like demons and demon slayers and such, but it's beautifully done in the most spectacular way. So it had to be in my top 5. Now, ASTRA Lost in Space, guys. It had one of the most solid endings to a series in general that I have ever read or I have ever watched. Like it brought all of these plot holes like throughout the show, all of them getting solved and making sense completely, and then at the end, it's like there's no plot holes like whatsoever. It was like a perfect ending and everything. Like at all the twists and turns of the show, you take a step back, you're like, whoa, wait, what? But then they all make exact sense. They all make complete sense. And the girls, the waifus, perfect stuff. It's hilarious. It's adventurous. It's like a space like adventure and stuff. And like even though they're lost in space, that's what the show is. ASTRA Lost in Space. It's so beautifully done in terms of an adventure type of anime or just a show in general. Again, hilarious, some parts romantic and stuff, great action type of stuff when it comes to space, and the music is great. The opening and ending themes. The ending theme reminds me of like a Japanese version of Coldplay. And I love Coldplay music. And it's like a Japanese version of it. And I could just sit there and listen to it. And it's beautiful. I thought it was fantastic. And that's why it's also tied for 5th in my top 5. And number 3, the third one that's tied for number 5 in my list. SAO Alicization War of Underworld Part 1. Because there's a Part 2 coming in spring. Like, let me tell you. I loved and I was excited and happy and hyped for season 1. I thought it was amazing and stuff like that. Season 2, I understand why people didn't really much like it, but I still liked it, like, in general. I thought it was still great and such. And season 3, I kind of went off of SAO for a while, but then season 3, Sword Art Online, Alicization, I decided to binge that a couple months ago. Bro, that is the best season of SAO, period. Like, it was so amazing. Talking about, like, soul transfer type of stuff. It's elevating even more to, like, what, like, the first season was. Like, you die in the game, you die in real life and stuff. It keeps elevating every single season. And Alicization is the best one, like, right next to, like, second place that's tied for season 1 and War of Underworld for me. Like, the first season and War of Underworld are, like, tied for second, but Alicization is up there as number 1. And so I watched War of Underworld so far, and the action, like, Alice is amazing, fantastic. Recently, we just got to see Asuna enter the underworld. And the battle between everybody from the Dark Territory and the Human Empire was fantastic. You got, like, all of these amazing Integrity Knights that you get to see were amazing and stuff, the way they're fighting and stuff. But not only that, you get to see the Dark Territory, amazing characters from the Dark Territory and such. And bro, it's like, it's also very horrifying for what's, like, happening and stuff, and I'm very scared for what's to come next episode, if you guys haven't seen last episode. But, like, and Lisa, who does the opening at, like, or does the ending theme, bro, like, the opening and ending themes of SAO and the soundtrack, regardless if you like SAO or not, you cannot deny that the music in this show and the artwork and animation is not fire. You cannot, you can't deny that it is fire. You can't. Like, it's so amazingly done, and War of Underworld looks fantastic too, and it's amazing. So those 3 are tied for my 5th place for my top 5. Now, number 4, I had to, period, put this on my list because of my love and passion for food and cooking and stuff like that, and being a chef and everything. I'm talking about Food Wars, the 4th plate, season 4. And I believe this is the last season of Food Wars or something like that. But overall, like, this season, out of all the seasons of Food Wars, I have not cried as much as this one. I didn't just cry once, twice, I cried 3 times in this season. Last episode, I cried the whole thing with Nene and Ishiki. I cried with pretty much his, like, chef's version of a love confession to her. Like, I cried my eyes out. And then what Erina did with Megumi, in that she names her dish after Megumi and did, like, a different take on Megumi's dish that when she lost. Bro, like, this show gave me back a passion that I thought I lost so long, or that I did lost a long time ago, and I thought I wasn't going to get it back, and that is cooking in the kitchen in general. The passion that I have is raging, and it's coming out again, and I'm so happy that this show and anime did that to me. So that's why season 4 is in my top 5. My number 4 is Food Wars, the 4th plate. Now, number 3 is something that I was very excited about. Like, I think I read, like, 1 or 2 chapters of this series, like, years back or something. But then, for some reason, like, back then, oh, excuse me, maybe some more. But for some reason, back then, like, I randomly just like read chapters of, like, different series and such, just cause, I don't know why, but when I heard this anime or this series was gonna get animated, I distinctively remembered about, like, this artwork and stuff and such of this series that I was like, oh, let me read this. So I read, like, a chapter or 2 of it or something, but then, like, years later, the series is getting animated, and I'm like, oh, I remember this. Let me watch this. And I'm so happy I did. Because it gave me an amazing MC in Naofumi. It gave me this amazing, fantastic, hilarious little bird, ass-kicking bird girl named Philo. And fantastically, she is. It gave me one of my favorite heroine in I don't know how long of all time. She's probably in my top 10 like waifus of all time in Raftalia. I am talking about the rising of the shield hero, my guy. And let me tell you, when it was announced that this series was going to get a season 2 and season 3 and that they were both in production or whatnot, I was in a Starbucks and I almost squealed, screamed, and screeched like a little girl. And I was like, I had to cover my mouth and leave. Like, that's how much I freaked out and that's how much I adore this series. I'm telling you, when this series ended and I think I went to a convention like a couple weeks later or something, but I only went to the artist alley to look for Rising of the Shield Hero like artwork and stuff with Raphtalia, Naofumi, and Philo. That's like all I went for. And I got like a dozen like posters of them. Like, that's how much this series like impacted me and everything. I even went so far as to get them signed, not only like the big poster that I got, like this nice beautiful fabric poster of Naofumi, Raphtalia, and Philo together and stuff. Not only did I get that signed by the artist, not only did I get it signed by the director of the show, not only get it signed by like the head animator, I got it signed by the official composer of the series, the guy who made the music for Made in Abyss, people. Like, this show was amazing for me. I loved everything about it. Mad Kid, who did the opening themes of the show, both of them were amazing. Exact level of just awesomeness. Like, it was fantastic and stuff. Even like, not just the theme, not just the opening themes were amazing, but also the ending themes were so good. The music of the show is just so, like, a lot of the times it's like ominous, and then it's vibrant, and then it's action-packed, and then it's funny and hilarious. Like, all of these characters, not all of them, a lot of these characters are funny and just awesome and cool and stuff like that. Like, it's just so all around such a good story about this guy named Naofumi who ends up in this fantasy world and stuff. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's so good, and I'm so excited for season 2 and season 3 to be in production. And I believe it's probably gonna happen in fall, that like season 2 will probably end up in fall maybe, which I'm perfectly fine. If I wait a little bit longer, like a year and a half or something like that, I'm good. Because that way, they're gonna do better on the animation and whatnot, and just make it more fantastic. And I'm ready for it, and like, I'm hyped. I'm so excited for those. But season 1 was phenomenal, guys. So the Rising of the Shield Hero was my number 3. My number 2 was an anime that I've been waiting for years, like 4 or 5 years, to get the second season of. This is one of, if not the first anime that I decided to review on my channel, on my YouTube channel, and I am so supremely excited that it got a season 2 this year in, I believe, June or July or something. It got the second season. Like, it had an OVA after the first season, and then I believe a year and a half it had the spin-off series, and then I believe a year later it had the movie that came out, and then we got season 2. I'm talking about DANMACHI, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, season 2. Season 2, my God, finally! Come on! I loved this season, not only because we get to see Belle again, we get to see Hestia again, we get to even like Freya and stuff, we got to see Lily, we got to see more than Loki Familia again, we got to see Ainz, we got to see everybody back again with this awesome story telling about Belle Cornell, the hero. And I supremely loved this season because season 1, we got to see a little bit of like the grand scale of the show called DANMACHI or whatnot. We got to see some awesome, amazing stuff from Belle and everything. And this season, we got to see more of like, say, the underbelly of the familias, and like the Apollo's familia and Ishtar's familia and stuff. And Ishtar and Freya's like, bro, Ishtar and Freya, that was just freaking crazy, right? But like, this season was more of like, I don't want to say smaller scale, but more like intricate dealings with other familias and stuff. And I loved it and everything. We got to just see more development with Belle being what he wants to be, the Argonaut, the story of the hero, the boy who wants to be the hero. And I loved it. Opening song was great. Again, ending song was great. Again, animation, artwork, always great with this show. Everything's fantastic. And more waifus. I ain't talking about the frog girl. I'm talking about all these babes. I'm talking about like Haruhime, man. Oh my gosh. Ishtar's Familia. Them ladies, the Amazonians. Oh, the Amazon. Oh, get out of town. All of it was good. Oh, Aisha-san. Oh, fantastic. And again, I was so happy that we got a second season of the main story. We got like that OVA after the first season, and then we got the spin-off of Ainz and pretty much the Loki Familia and stuff, which if you haven't seen that season, go watch it. It's beautiful. It's freaking fantastic and everything. Like, it's so good. Then we got the spin-off, right? And then we got Arrow of the Orion, which I cried my eyes out at the end. That movie was so damn good. And then we got season 2. And now we're getting an OVA in January and a season 3 in the summer of 2020. And I'm excited, supremely excited for it. And I was so happy that we finally got that second season of the main story of DANMACHI. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? So that was my number 2 in my top 5. My number 1. It's time, guys. My number 1 is something that I did not expect myself to love so dearly to the utmost. All the girls in this show are waifu tier, are fantastic, but Maki will always have my heart, guys. That toned woman with the muscle. Oh my god. She is fantastic. Maki is my number 1 from this show. Everything about from like the art animation of the show is amazing. I am talking about Fire Force. Again, I did not expect myself to love this show as much as I do. Like, the way, if they ever do like a fighting scene in this show, if like not even a fighting scene, but just like the animation itself, if somebody's standing still, like Hibana using her flower, like pyrokinetic abilities with that giant sakura tree. Beautiful, like, and Hibana, beautiful. All of it was good. Even like the bad guys, like the bad girls and stuff. Like, all these girls are waifu tier. Fantastic. But again, Maki got my heart. And I love everything about Shinra. I love everything about him and his backstory and what he wants to be. Like the fire for everybody. Captain Obi, Lieutenant like Hinawa. And you got like right now what's going on. You got Lisa, Vulcan, you got all these people. Like Tamaki is great and stuff. Like, you know, her little etchiness is getting a little up there, but like all of it is so good. And the music. The opening theme. Like the first opening theme was freaking amazing. The second opening thing, I thought it was alright, but it's warming up to me and it's pretty damn good. And then the second ending thing was phenomenal. The first ending theme was great too. Like all of it is good. And and the music gets you pumping. Like the music of the show, sometimes like I just like to listen to it while I'm working out and such. It's so good. I loved everything about it. Like again, like me and my friend Chris, he can attest to this. Whenever we go out and stuff, whenever we meet each other, we're just like Latom. Like it's so funny. And then like either we do that or we look at each other and we're like, dude, last week's Fire episode? And even sometimes when we just look at each other and not even doing the Latom, we just look at each other and we're like, bro, Fire Force this week? And we're looking at when we talk about like half an hour of just like this show that we just really connect with like together and stuff. And it's just great. Like I love a show when that happens and me and my friends just get so freaking excited for it, and everything that's been happening in the show right now is so good. I believe there's 2 or 3 episodes left or something. But anyways, it's just so good. Like everything about it is so good. And this season or this year in general is so amazing. So that's why Fire Force is my number 1. But what do you guys think about not just my top 5, but also just the honorable mentions that I had? Leave down in the comments your thoughts about my top 5 list or the honorable mentions. Leave a comment on your favorite like shows of this year. Leave down in the comments your thoughts about like some that really surprised you or some that really surprised you this year and such. Like the video if you liked like all the tops that I had and stuff, my honorable mentions that I had. Like this video if you did. Like the video if you liked anything I had to say about this year. Again, this year, probably the best year in general so far for me in terms of anime. Like it was so freaking good, guys. Like it probably not even just for anime, but just in general, this year might be the best year of, like, for me in general, my best year ever, and it was so great and such. But yeah, leave a like if you liked the video and everything, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, and theater discussion videos and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sassy, but most important, everybody, you gotta stay a little nasty, alright? So peace and love, and I will see y'all later in the next video. Peace out. May the force be with you always. Plus, ultra, and latum.